Good morning, all. Woo, here's a little whacked. Ambole. Most of us are absolutely convinced that the dawn goes at exactly the same time as the dinar. I very much believe that. Jamie, hopefully I will catch up with you. I get back into North Kakalaki Friday night. I'll make certain to find you. Hello, Sluggo, Schlosser, Jess, Trek for Life, Fluffy, Puff, Jay and Amy, Trapper. For those that joined last night, we had an awfully fun whiskey and wisdom with lots of festive holiday lights. Hello, Kevin Jensen, Trevor, huge thanks. Very appreciated and kind. Hello, yeah, see, it was fun. It was a good one. Hello, Judy. I mean, some people don't have a sense of humor, but most do. RW, our resident philosopher. Merry Christmas, Mona. I just saw that one. Mike, I missed your birthday yesterday. Happy belated, Mike. I think you're joining Mountain Gold today, though. Let's see. A positive attitude may not solve all your problems, but it will annoy enough people to make it worth the effort. Amen. Now, that's one thing that you do have control over. Most people don't see it, but you do. You control your attitude, and your attitude controls your latitude. I know. Trendy, funny sayings. You can't control what the world throws at you, but you can control how you react to it and how you deal with it. And we all have space to go on that. I definitely do. Definitely. Diane said, I know it soon. The Lord keeps showing me my assignments, beating on us. Yeah, Andy held nothing back and he spelled it all out for you. He was on fire and he was giving just concrete stuff. It was awesome. I like the Patriot bonus. Told my son to invest Trump's 1776 Patriot bonus, and he should. Hello, Jojo. Missed the speech last night. Power went out and still out with no estimate of when it will be back on. Oh, Jojo. Just means you got to come back to Puerto Rico. Let's see. Mira said, dancing on the beach in the moonlight last night, living the good life on a shoestring. You got to appreciate that when it doesn't. That's one thing I've learned coming to Puerto Rico. In the U.S., we live to work. Here, they work to live. It's all about, don't need a whole lot. Just, are you enjoying your life? Let's see, Doris's birthday. I know I need to stay on it. I do get a little distracted. Could be worse, I guess. Little ADHD maybe. Or is that AH? Whatever the terms are, I don't know. I really don't like pinning yourself with something. I will just call it a personality type. If you're like me and you're getting that age where your body just feels sluggish and off all the time, then listen up. But recently I wasn't feeling great. Decided to call my friend Dr. Josh for some help. Told him what was going on. His response kind of shocked me. Said I was showing all the telltale signs of a clogged liver. You probably already heard how important your liver is for detoxification, digestion, and energy levels. Here's the thing. Most people have no idea how clogged and overburdened their liver actually is. Eating processed food, drink, even stress. These things can all take a toll, leaving your liver clogged, and it's important to not let this go unchecked. Because your liver is arguably the most important organ in your body, being responsible for the proper function of nearly every system in your body, from digestion to metabolism, detoxification, enzymes. I mean, go on and on. The list is huge. Essentially, a healthy liver equals a healthy you. That's why Dr. Josh, practicing doctor with over 25 years of medical expertise, formulated a special liver supplement called Ultra Liver that acts like a deep cleanse for your entire body He told me they have sold over 500,000. I think they're closer to a million. I need to get them to update us. That's when I'd heard enough, so I decided to try it, and it has made a huge help. It is cutting into skin issues, fatigue, you name it, renewed energy. It's powerful stuff. Now, you're not going to get this from just any over the counter, just any run of the mill liver supplement. It has been, Dr. Josh put 25 plus years of experience into making Ultra Liver to make sure it actually does what he says it will, or was it supposed to. So if you're ready to unclog your liver and flush those dangerous toxins that keep sapping your energy and preventing you from losing weight and feeling better, just go to charultraliver.com/MarkZ. Get your hands on it today, and he does have a sale that has been extended up to 50% off right now. You can find that at tryultraliver.com/MarkZ. Link is in the description. Chevron moving their headquarters to Houston from San Francisco after 140 years. Vallejo was closing. Oh, when you say Vallejo is closing their refinery, that's like pretty much the only all-American gas in the United States, or was at one time. I've not done a deep dive on the companies in a while. I know they were greatly reducing their footprint in Pennsylvania at one point. Are you talking about like California? I don't know where that refinery is. Did you say there was contact with group leader last night? No, Joseph, I did not. Do I speak with a couple? Yes. Have I heard anything fun or new or interesting from them? No. Well, some of the group leaders, not all of them. There's a bunch. See, CW, it seems like there's a correlation between silver, gold, Bank of America, JP Morgan stocks. Both silver, gold dropped dramatically at the same time. BOA rose dramatically. Dead cat. Fundamentals haven't changed. Now, how people react to them, they'll swing back and forth. They'll overreact. They'll try to correct. They'll underreact. They'll try to correct. I accidentally wore a red shirt into Target today, and to make a long story short, this Saturday I'm covering for Debbie. Or getting harassed because they think you are a Trump supporter, right? Because you wore a red shirt. No word on med beds. Painfully so. I know my family, like many, are desperate to have them. Sailplane. What did Donald J. Trump say last night? You guys want to dive into that now? Or you want to wait 2 minutes? Because it is on the list to cover. He fooled me, and I don't know why. I don't know why I fell for it again. He played the press like a fiddle, like a fine-tuned fiddle. Like Johnny when the devil went down to Georgia. I mean, he played that fiddle just masterfully. So what'd he cover? Nothing to do with Venezuela, really. Everything to do with the economy. And he showed us just how screwed up it has been, just what progress they have made. And he did it on primetime television by floating the rumor that it was going to be about a Venezuelan war. All of the majors covered it and then covered him, exposing how bad it was and the progress they have made. I mean, master manipulator. Barnum and Bay, he is like the ringmaster of the circus going on in D.C. right now. I mean, he played him like a fiddle. I can't believe I didn't see it. I was like, DJ Tim Nader, my TDS coworker, said he just yelled the whole time. Telling you that TDS runs on both sides. Those that think he could absolutely do no wrong, that you should never, ever, ever, ever question him, that you are Satan incarnate if you question him. And there is the other side, which is even crazier, that believes he can do nothing wrong. Anybody that even would consider voting for him, anybody that didn't spit pure hate, then you're evil. And it is the craziest thing. There are many times throughout human history where the overwhelming majority of humanity has lost its ever effing mind. And we're in one of those. Although we've been in it now going on for like 10 years. Hello, Miss Norton. Birthday today for Fuji Mama. Tim, so when this red dawn happens, will vets be considered active? I don't think they're even going to waste time calling on them. They're just going to show up. Your ducks, what is going on with that one? My ducks are definitely not in a row. Some have gone missing, and I'm confident that a couple are not even ducks. Are they going buck, 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 buck? Instead, wait. Oh, no, Mountain Gold, your birthday's today, right? Reading, enjoying a few of these. Oh, wait, it's time. We got to get into it, guys. Banner. I do have. I just received going into this a bond update that I have to process, guys. I have not had a chance to go through it yet. Still very, very hopeful. The short on that one is, hey, they expect it at any time. I've got to get through the details. There simply was not time before having to hit the start button this morning. It is not so important that I need to stop and look at it, because they let us know in the beginning of it that things are going well, processing, probably going to be a few days. And now I've got to get into the details. So that is your brief cliff notes on that one that came in. I mean, it literally came in right before. So I've not had a chance to go through the minutia yet. It's going to take time, guys. I'm not going to do it right now. We'll have it for you this evening if it's anything different. I mean, they gave me the cliff notes at the very top. Things are going smooth. They expect it within days. And then I get to go in and read what they've been doing. Carmen's birthday. From groups, nothing. Prosperity, nothing. Individual currencies, nothing. And we've got a fair amount to go over with Iraq, though. No, nobody has answered me on the Bolivar rate. Yeah, like I've said before, Daisy Duke. If they do, if I get a number, you won't have to ask. I will be screaming it. And the Liberated Andy was absolutely amazing, and the info he gave was worth a lot. It was. You want to feel warm and fuzzy? Like, this is absolutely not a choice. It's got to happen. Watch Andy and I yesterday, or Andy, I should say. I was along for the ride. I was only along for the ride. Oh, wait, you think you're doing your birthday today? Because I am traveling tomorrow. The plan is I've got to see if Matt and Lucas can join a few minutes early. I have to leave for the airport about the same time we normally start. So I was going to get us started, get Mr. C on a roll, and he was going to be with Zester for Mr. C and questions tomorrow. That's your heads up. To still make it happen, trying to make the holidays as regular as I can and still meet all of my obligations. Jackson's 10th birthday. Jackson, happy birthday. So we'll still be here to celebrate. Silver 6574. Boy, I tell you, they have been doing their level best to manipulate that one, and it continues to run. It refuses to stop. And we do have some fun stuff or progress. Iraq is, they're just hitting the checklist over and over and over on those reforms that they told us that they were going to do in order to lift their purchasing power. Jackwagon, I always carry a small note with me. Might be a 50K dong, might be a 5K dinar, but I always carry something with me. Oh, wait, why do I still have that? Oh, the news is up for a reason. I need to get back to the news. Guys, stay focused, Mark. Stay focused. Monetary policy indicators confirm central bank first in 2025. Wait, what does all this mean? This means that they had the Axis 12 financial and banking reform during the years of 2023 to 2025. For their third strategy and comprehensive banking reform project, White Reforms, think of their reforms, are telling us that they have completed in 2023 and 2025, these time periods, through these 3-year period, this massive reform. They told us at the beginning that reform was solely designed to lift the purchasing power. Now they're telling us that they have finished the banking reform, or they will finish the banking reform throughout the rest of this month, which is just about, well, it's halfway over. So this is the theme for today. Another one on that. The Prime Minister chairs a special meeting to follow up on the implementation of the governance of the comprehensive tax system. This is so that they collect their customs ahead, and it smooths their foreign exchange process for dollars, makes it legitimate. No longer trucks pulling up out back, not knowing where it's going, modernizing their system. These are all key tenets to that white paper reform, or white reforms, what they called it. I assume they do that because the paper is printed on this huge stack of white papers. Al Wali, ports are witnessing a digital transformation after the introduction of modern technologies and sonar networking. So it'll be tracking anything from boats to planes to trains to trucks. Again, the checklist for those reforms. Al Sudani directs the need to conduct a comprehensive evaluation and restructuring of all tax management systems in Iraq. This is another one we have talked about. Their My Account process, making certain you can pay all of your fees. Nothing is paid in cash. Anything government related, they can track so they know that it was paid, so that a less than honorable collector or clerk or teller can pocket the cash, mark something paid, and it just disappears, and they live a good life. This is all part of that cleanup that they told us they had to execute between 2023 and 2025 so that they could lift their purchasing power, and they've done it. And here's just your feel-good one that we get every so often from this administration. We will make Iraq great again. Joe Wilson, Savaya shape the new American role as they de-Iran Iraq, help return Iraq to a sovereign, healthy, safe, where they control all of their arms, meaning their country, their government controls all of those military level arms, not militias. I mean, we want the same thing in the U.S., right? Why would the rest of the world not want that? Do you want a bunch of armed militias running around your country, warlords setting up whenever they want to? No, they want safe and stable. We want the same thing here. We push for it. They want the same thing in Europe. They want the same. This one makes sense. So that's really all your feel good on the dinar side of it. Going to be there's been a shortage of U-Hauls in Cali. It's become like a thing where people are getting paid to move U-Haul trucks back from other states, from Florida, from Texas, from Tennessee and North Carolina. I mean, they're losing almost 500,000 people a year. Unfortunately, for you folks that are staying, the ones that are losing are mostly the conservatives or the right-leaning or the common sense-leaning folks as they flee, which is making it even crazier. Dario's birthday. Let's see. UC Berkeley says gas will be $8.41 in California because of refinery moves. Have they not figured this out yet? Costs are dropping all over the nation except for California. Have you not figured out the common denominator here? It's the government in California. That's your problem, which just sucks because there's some wonderful, amazing people in California. I see that, Beth, on the Dario birthday. Let's see. My baby turns 1 today. Hey, Jay. We're ripping. I'm just reading a few of these. Okay, we got to get to Montana's full. Maduro looks like he's an evil twin of Al Sudan. He does, kind of. I never thought about that one, Michael. Never thought of that one. Yeah, Mike, think about that. When people continue to leave California, yet the census numbers continue to rise. Somebody can't count. I like the state, but man, is it a political mess. That's exactly why you need Lewis Herms. It's exactly why you need him. Okay, let's keep going. Living life, mztiedyes at gmail.com. Miss Catherine's birthday tomorrow. She gets to celebrate. Try to write those down when I see them because it's tough during the podcast to catch them all. See, gas was an average of $2.99 yesterday and was running errands. I mean, it's the lowest we've seen since the fuel crash when COVID first kicked in and they quarantined the world. Bill and Linda, who's pulling down? Well, which Sheila? I don't know which Sheila we're referencing. I doubt it's my Sheila. When I say, well, I say my Sheila, my friend that's named Sheila. Sluggo Kukla must have had a heck of a night out with the ladies last night. She's probably at work. See, thanks everyone. I know a few for, to be exact, milking the disability checks for the government, $3,000 a month, family benefits, and all are working full-time jobs. All right. Yeah, Mr. C has not been paid. He checked in. He'll be with us tomorrow. Beauregard's 6th birthday. Just tell him, Barry, I said, and happy birthday. Let's see, Washington State, $4.39 a gallon. South Florida, $2.65. It is going to go up this week. Holidays, fuel. I mean, come on, they all make more money. Supply and demand. People traveling to go see grandma. Look up Gas Buddy, which shows the map of gas prices in the U.S. Marianne, I remember when Pennsylvania used to be, when we used to go back and forth back home, you wanted to try to push it. You would get just enough gas to make it to Pennsylvania because it was so much cheaper. Back in the old days, I guess when Quaker State was still running. Well, Quaker State was still like really operating instead of just becoming kind of like John Deere, where John Deere pretty much just puts cool green stickers on tractors. Not their big stuff. I'm talking about like lawnmowers and things like that. They really don't make them. I know I'm going to get in trouble. You were right about Dan Bongino. He was a morning show and is leaving because he misses his wife, family, and former life. I don't blame him. I mean, I do not blame him. You're asking him to go work for a country that is largely, overwhelmingly unsupportive of his efforts to help improve their life and lower crime in their world, to bring corruption to light. Most of them are really, really mad at Dan for doing that. I don't blame him. I think he was catching the bad side of the flack and the PR and was busy trying to do the right thing. And ran into a megalith of government corruption and ineptness. Not appreciated? Why? Why put up with it? Cash, said Dan, completed his mission. Yeah. Dan finished his time. He said he'd only be there for, Friar Dog. I do remember saying he would commit for at least 1 year. I do remember that. I've forgotten that until you just posted that, though, Friar Dog. So thank you. Yeah, I'm not a Bondi fan, Mama Bear. I hope I'm wrong and there's a big plan with her, but I'm not a Pam Bondi fan. She's not impressed me. Rain Man still pops in. Stan, Rain Man was just here this past week. Yeah, Cash also said after Carlos seeing Valhalla. Yeah, what's wrong with saying that? If you've ever been in the military circles around folks that think that way, that is a common term amongst men to use. When somebody fights the good fight, they'll say, "I'll see you in Valhalla." That's where all the greatest warriors sit and drink their flagon and tell their stories. It's doesn't mean that he worships some whatever. Doesn't mean any of that crazy BS that people keep pulling out of their buttholes all over the net with their over the top. There's so many real conspiracy theories we don't need to make extra. Just slow your roll on them. Think about them. Think that sometimes it's not a conspiracy theory. Read the article interview with Susie Wiles in Vanity Fair. I really do need to read that. I mean, she has said that it is so grossly taken out of context, twisted, and everything else that it's laughable. And it's going to be fun. I should probably read it just to see how twisted they took it. I mean, they're really trying to sow dissent in the Trump administration. Do you still believe it will happen around January 2nd, Camaro Commando? I think it will. I mean, buckle up. I could be off. It could not happen until July. I don't know the timing, but do I think it will? Yes. How long's it been since we lost Strawberry? Guys, it's got to be a good, 4 years? I mean, she went down probably 2020 or 2021. It's sad. We lost some great ones. We lost Pat, the Spoon Lady. Then we lost Strawberry. Too many. Yeah, who even reads Vanity Fair? Oh. Hey, I'm going to say it again. Dan, you are welcome. You are welcome to come on before you launch your show again and tell us all about it. Boy, I tell you, that would be an honor. What else do we have to? Ooh, I did forget. How did I get all of these out? All right, let's keep running with a little bit of news. Electrical interconnection with the Gulf is close to operation in Iraq. Again, this is another one of their big reform projects because they were importing a massive amount of electricity from Iran and other regions. They are setting themselves up so they can get it from other areas, Turkey, and for it to go the other direction soon as they are increasing their production. So it's just part of those reforms. And it also helps remove Iranian influence. The highlights, Trump's speech. Again, for those that were not here early, I got played. I mean, I got played big time. Trump played me like a fiddle, floated the rumor, and let it run that they were going to announce a war action against Venezuela. And that's not at all what they were going to do. They were going to tell us what has really happened. If you've noticed, a lot of the press and pundits, and maybe I should say the paid-for social media influencers on the left. How do I get that gig, by the way? I mean, the right. I wish they spent that kind of money. Man, I could retire and live a good life. I'm joking, folks. They've been really pushing on affordability, yes, but prices are up. Hey, hamburgers up 2%. So they've really been beating on that, trying to cast doubt, hoping, I guess, that people forget what it was like over the past 4 years. So Trump used the opportunity to show the progress that they have made, the progress from tariffs, from costs, from empowering farmers to lower food costs, for bringing back trillions of dollars investment for manufacturers. How, yes, we're losing jobs in the government sector, but we are gaining them in the private sector, and how important that is if you're going to have a healthy, stable, long-term economy. You need to focus on the private industry. Government doesn't need to be your key to growth like it has been in the past. It needs to be we, the people, growing healthy businesses and bringing infrastructure, manufacturing, production back. And he took advantage of the opportunity. Now, here's your big one. Trump took the opportunity to give us some statistics, some very well-documented statistics. Under the Biden administration, which was marked by the COVID-19 pandemic, food inflation surged on average nearly 24%. With grocery staples climbing at a similar rate or even higher, such as eggs 238%, coffee 53%, sugar 48%, ground beef 40%, and butter 35%. It has slowed sharply, yes, but it is still persistently high. And they wanted us to know everything that they are doing to deal with it. In other words, they're not waiting for it. They're not telling you, well, it's transitory, deal with it. They're telling you, hey, this is where it was. This is what we've done. This is what we are still doing. And we are making every effort. He took to the airwaves and he used mainstream media because they all covered it. They weren't going to cover it. It was only going to be covered, on the normal, maybe on a C-SPAN, maybe on a Next News Network or OAN, or maybe on Fox. I don't even think it was going to be on your regular Fox channels. So he played them. The rumor got floated. They all showed it, just like they would a State of the Union. I mean, guys, Trump is president. Some of the mainstream media networks have threatened and or not covered a State of the Union. First time in ever since they started televising them. But he suckered them into carrying it. They just gave him free press for all of the changes going on. He did like a fiddle. It was the plan. It wasn't leaked. It was on purpose. I'm with you. Leaked on purpose, done on purpose. He did. He played him like a fiddle. And I don't know why have not just because it's not the way I operate, but it's smart. NFL, Bondi and Bongino had a blowout over Epstein. Guys, Bongino pushed before he ever went to D.C. to get those things released. That was a mountain he was willing to die on, and he won. And I think he took his win and he's going home. So played that one. I just stunned. I mean, what was fantastic, helps public opinion right there in their face. They can't deny it. Here's a big one that it does not surprise me. I've been waiting for this one. Ghislaine Maxwell files for release from prison. I honestly thought this was coming sooner because her window of opportunity is kind of small. What happens if those files release a lot more? She needs to get out now. In hopes that they can't use double jeopardy, etc. There were no crimes, there were no victims, there were no this or that. I mean, why not file for it? Do I think she's guilty? Absolutely. Do I think there was crazy stuff? Do I think Epstein was most likely a intelligence operative for at least 2 different nations? Absolutely, very much. Probably more accurate, five eyes. In my opinion. It is only an opinion. But I've been waiting for this one because she really does. If those files are going to drop some big ones, she got to get going quick before they all drop because rumors are they drop tomorrow. Have you guys heard anything on that front? Christy, maybe Trump put out false information on his speech to see who would leak what information to see who he could trust. Now, Christy, he does do that often. Frank, 1 year and out. Bongino wants his free speech back on his podcast. I'm a little irritated, though. If he's going to take that 11 o'clock spot, I had already planned on some schedule changes coming in January, and he took my spot. So, Dan, you better do it. I'm going to change my life, buddy. You better do it. I know it's not all about me, Dan, but I really am hopeful that he comes back. Grandma says just that they're coming tomorrow. Yeah, Ghislaine. Yeah, I want to be a licensed submarine pilot. That would be fun, I think. Yeah, Dwayne, Mark, Trump played you like a fiddle, but you were not out of tune. That helps. Richard says, rumor is Trump's doing another speech tomorrow. Guys, I need you all to help, especially over the next day or two. All right, let's get into this last piece I want to cover today before birthdays and Stacey. Campfire, we'll mention that one again. I'll save that comment. FAA says it will commit $6 billion to air traffic control modernization by December 31st. So they're putting that money. They're still looking for more to finish that upgrade, guys. They are making a massive upgrade to the FAA's air traffic control systems to increase safety. And the infrastructure is going to include ground surveillance technology, so planes don't run into each other on the ground, updated radar capabilities, updated computers that will greatly reduce the workload for the humans that are there to make it easier for them to make their judgment calls, to make it easier for the humans to make their judgment calls. This modernization process under the last administration was scheduled to be done somewhere around, I don't know, like 2038, I believe it was. We're already having accidents. They've been going on for years now because we have an outdated system, and they are hitting it like 6 billion, well, 6.5 billion or so. In this first stage there, I think it's going to end up taking almost double that by the time they have updated all of the system throughout the country. It is now on a fast track to do over the next 3 years, actually next 2.2 years, 2 months or something like that. The 1776, I just thought it was kind of poetic. If you're going to be on Trump, for those that don't know, Trump announced that they have already started. They are already mailing, already distributing a military bonus to all active members in the military of $1,776. Christmas bonus. A lot of it's for all the craziness and an apology for the last number of years for kicking people out of the military, for forcing things on them that they weren't legally allowed to or constitutionally allowed to. And to say thank you, it's good for morale. I'm for it because I believe that they have been shat upon for too long. That is my personal opinion. I know some people don't like military. We shouldn't need warriors. We have to have them. It's the world we live in until Christ returns. You need them. And they have their nightmares so that you don't have to have your nightmares. They're sacrificing themselves, their safety, their families' sanity for you and me. I don't think it includes retired vets, Benny. Everything I have read is saying active military personnel. No. There towards the end of the government shutdown, some of the military was not. At least that's what I was told. Silverback military last 25 years. I've been rode hard and put away wet. Many families suffered. And Silverback, that is exactly it. Time to show you the appreciation you deserve. Everyone should be proud of the military. I am very proud of our military. I'm not proud of some of the leadership in military. I'm not proud of what our politicians have asked of our military, but I am to my core proud of our military. Very much so. Yeah, watch over T-Mac military got back pay, and that's all that's been paid out so far. Yeah, they talk about actually. I had another article I should have shared with you. Let me see if I can find it. Inflation. Okay, I don't have it pulled up. I had another pretty good one on that gave a little more of the details on the timing, but I don't have it up there anymore because the nutshell was, hey, they've already started the process of sending out checks. So if you got your back pay, look for it. I believe the one article said that they want everybody to have it in their hands before Christmas. So, I mean, it's going to be a mad dash to get her done. Guess it's a good time, folks. Anybody out there, it's your chance to say thank you to our many active military and vets that are here in the community. Is there any way to get around the digital currency, Food Dog? No, not really. You can kind of, sort of. Yeah, well, all right, Food Dog. I should probably start this one with what country are you in? Because digital currency is not necessarily a bad thing. The question is it centralized? Is it controlled? Is it used to control you, or is it used to free you? It has blockchain technology that keeps them from being able to counterfeit it, keeps them from being able to willy-nilly print more and debase your currency and steal from your future. We probably need to do a real deep dive on that one. But if you guys want I highly suggest it for those that are interested. Try it at least. I know I'm trying it more and more. Barter. Use silver metals when you can. Grow your own food. If you do that, if we limit our lifestyle, we get everything in our worlds paid for. And I know that's not an easy thing. I get that. I understand it. I go through the same thing you guys do. It's a worthy goal, though. Grow more of your own stuff. Trade with friends. If you're good at growing zucchinis, they're good at growing corn. You grow the zucchini. Let them grow the corn. Trade. Get a good, resilient, resourceful friend group wherever you are. That's what we need, guys. We need to create. Remember how what's his name? The Palladian guy, Simon Parks. How they started their consciousness something, their living whatever they called that group, and they had chapters all over. We need to do the same thing, but not just for currency holders. That's an option. Now I'm talking about for resourceful people all around. So you have people in your area, your neighborhood, your state where you guys can get together, talk about what you do to be more resourceful. I don't know. That idea just hit me. Not fleshed out at all. Podcast schedule for the next couple of weeks. I'll give you the whole thing. Basically, I would love to take Saturday off this week, but I need to talk to Matt Lucas on that one. My daughter's moving, headed back to help then family. But the plan right now is Zester will help tomorrow, and it will only affect some evening podcasts. Everything else will stay normal. So overwhelmingly, the podcast schedule over the next couple of weeks is normal, with the exception of Wednesday nights, because it's going to be Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Agrahoods. I kind of like that one. Connecting consciousness. That same style thing, but to help people get through this thing, to help each other with food, to help each other with housing ideas. I mean, just all of the above. I'm going to sing happy birthday, turn it over to Stacie, and hanging out with you guys. Bix, wish we could blink to January 3rd. Yeah, the reparations thing. San Francisco Board of Supervisors. The Maryland, I believe they were passing. I'm just curious how this works. And any of you guys ever done 23andMe? I think a lot of them have. It's going to tell you genetically that you may deserve reparations if that's the case. It's going to tell you that 99% of the black people have white genetics. Maybe they owe this whole reparation thing to me is the craziest idea ever. I know if I go to the family graveyards back in Pennsylvania, there are a lot of dead family members from fighting for the North to end slavery. Do they get it? Who gets it? Who has to pay it? Because if the government pays it, that means you actually pay it. That means I pay it, you pay it. The person getting reparations pays it. The whole idea is it's insane. I can't make it make any kind of logical sense in my head. You're asking everybody to pay for things that they had nothing to do, and you're asking them to pay people that had nothing to do with it. World's not fair. Just doesn't make any sense to me. Just doesn't make any sense. Fun Paul I did 23andMe and found out I have African descendants. Yeah, like anybody else that's ever done it. Yeah, Andy was awesome yesterday. Okay, I know we've been confrontational enough for the day. Let's have a little fun, sing happy birthday, and hang out and talk about health, something everybody needs. Mountain Gold, Mike. Let's see. Doria? Man, my spelling sucks. My handwriting. Fuji Mama, Carmen Jackson, Dario, AJ. So they tell me it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday, darling. May you live, may you love, make all your dreams come true. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those celebrating. Repo. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna go in here and hang out with you all and let the nicer, kinder twin take the helm.
The nicer, kinder twin. That's funny. Hey, look, I managed to get my camera to finally work. Yay! Oh my goodness. So are you ready for traveling plans?
I'm ready. Gonna
Okay,
pack the bag today and be ready to hit the road to the airport tomorrow morning.
very good.
I'm ready to go
Awesome.
see my mom. Ready to go see my daughter. Ready to go see my other son.
Yep,
My
exactly.
sisters.
Your sisters, the most important thing, your sisters.
Family.
You know, family people. Okay, just checking. So, everyone, on this nice, lovely, rainy day, we are going to be talking about the 40% factor and what hearts and bones have in common. Yes, I am absolutely a Clemson fan. Football mainly, yes. But I do follow their baseball and their tennis too. But anyway, back to the topic at hand, the 40% factor. So this is crazy. Most people worry about heart disease as they age, but very few realize that after about age 50, and sadly, I have to put that about symbol in front of 50 because it's starting to get lower because of the processed foods that we eat. But around age 50, the lifetime risk of a serious bone fracture is about 40%, which is almost the exact same as their risk of heart disease. So let's talk about why your heart and your bones are more connected than you think. Remember that song, knee bone's connected to the shin bone, all that fun stuff? Well, it's also connected to your heart bone. I just made that up. So, the lifetime risk of any fracture, so your hip, your vertebrae, your wrist, anything after about age 50% is 40%. So, this is this is kind of big because there's some pretty scary statistics with that. So, after about age 50, your heart disease risk is about 40% for coronary artery disease. Your bone disease is about 40%, and your fragility fracture. So both are completely silent events. You don't know until it happens, right? So annual major events in the US, heart disease, about 805,000 heart attacks a year. Guess how much for bone disease? Over 2 million a year of osteoporotic fractures. This is the scary part. 1 year mortality after either event, heart disease or bone disease, there's a 20 to 25% major cardiac events you have the chance of passing. There is a 20 to 24% chance of that happening after a hip fracture. Most people don't realize it, but believe it or not, men, if they break their hips, have a higher rate of mortality afterwards. It's pretty scary. Early detection tests. There is the coronary artery calcium scan that you can do for heart disease, and there's a DEXA scan that you can do for bone disease. So, commonly under prevented, yes, meaning we don't talk about either one of them enough, and they're both very preventable. So, let's talk about just how we prevent them today. So, there's actually, this is fantastic, and most people don't realize it, but there's one activation strategy for your heart and your bones. So people think bone health and heart health are separate, but they're not. The same cellular dysfunctions that weaken bones also stiffen arteries. And the same activation strategies can help protect them both. So, what do these hearts and bones have in common? So, they're silent. You both don't know until you've had a heart attack or a stroke, and you don't realize anything's going on with your bones until you have a fracture. So, primary tissues affected: your arteries, your heart, your muscle, your endothelium for heart disease. For your bones, it's osteoblasts, osteoclasts, sites. Your main structural protein, collagen and elastin for your heart and your arteries, right? And veins, arteries, veins, all under the category of blood vessels. And then for bone disease, guess what? Type 1 collagen. So calcium, what does that play? Excess calcium can deposit in arteries and create calcification, then which leads to heart disease, coronary artery disease. Well, also for bone disease, calcium is required for bone strength. So problems with calcium alone can worsen arterial calcification without proper signaling. And for bone disease, poorly absorbed or misdirected without activation if you have calcium. So the shared root causes for both. Guess what? I'm always telling you oxidative stress and inflammation are horrible. Well, they both play a role. And guess what? It's the three main drivers: oxidative stress, inflammation, mitochondrial dysfunction. Same exact thing for bone disease. And a lot of doctors weren't thinking about mitochondrial dysfunction, and now they're placing a lot of importance on that, because if your mitochondria aren't happy, healthy, and have enough energy, they don't signal correctly. And if you don't have the correct signals going, you get funky heartbeats, you get calcium going where it's not supposed to. It's just a whole big thing. So hormonal influence: cortisol, insulin, estrogen, testosterone all play a role in heart disease. Well, guess what? Estrogen, testosterone, and cortisol all play a role in bone disease. Effect on aging: arteries stiffen, nitric oxide declines. Well, for bone disease, bone density declines and you get fracture risks. Sleep, very important. That's where your body heals. So if you don't have enough sleep, your blood pressure rises, you become insulin resistant, and you have tons of inflammation. When you don't sleep, when you have bone issues, your bones won't remodel. Those osteoblasts and osteoclasts actually help your bone remodeling. It's very important. It needs to constantly be growing and dying and growing and dying. And then also your growth hormones don't work. And then your lifestyle risk factors: sedentary lifestyle, stress, poor diet, smoking, all the same for both. And then major events: heart attacks, strokes. You can have hip, spine, wrist fractures, all are big. Prevention focus: you've got to reduce inflammation, improve vascular function for your hearts. Well, you've got to improve remodeling and mineralization for your bones. Activation needed: antioxidants, mitochondrial support, nitric oxide signaling. So for your bones, you need antioxidants, mitochondrial support, and mineral direction. And why they overlap: same cellular systems control repair signaling. Very, very important. So your bones and your hearts have way more in common than you'll ever realize, and you can help both of them together with the same things. So healthy bones and arteries depend on balance. I was talking about that whole signaling thing, right? Builders and breakers working together with calcium going to the right place. And then when that balance breaks, calcium leaves the bones. Then you get osteopenia and osteoporosis. When you have calcium in the wrong place, it builds up in arteries and you get artery calcification. So when your doctor tells you to take calcium, they leave out one of the most important things. You have to take certain vitamins and minerals with it to make sure it gets into your bones. And your body gets confused about where to put it if it doesn't have those minerals and vitamins. So bone building cells slow down and signaling breaks down, and calcium leaves bones and ends up in the arteries instead. So you get artery calcification. So calcium gets built up and deposited in the arteries in the joints instead of the bones. Osteopenia is just early bone thinning, and bones lose some strength. That happens as you age. Osteoporosis is advanced bone loss, and bones become fragile and weak. So those osteoblasts that I was talking about, they are your builders. So they're your bricklayers. They build new bone and use calcium. Osteoclasts, they are the breakers. They break down old bone, releasing calcium. So you've got to break down the bone and rebuild it to keep it as a living, healthy tissue. Osteocytes are your communicators. They are what send the signals to the builders and the breakers and where to put the minerals and the calcium and the vitamins. So bones need balance. Your osteoblasts, your builders, build new bone and use calcium. Your osteocytes, they communicate and send signals to the builders and the breakers, when to build, when to break. And the osteoclasts, the breakers, break down old bone and release the calcium into the bloodstream. So weak arteries means weak bones. You've got to balance them. So here's a fun fact you probably all didn't know. Bone is 30 to 40% collagen. Arteries are 30 to 50% of their dry weight in collagen. So they both require a lot of collagen to stay happy and healthy. So arteries and bones are completely living tissue. They're not concrete, they're not pipes. Bones aren't solid concrete, they're living tissue that constantly breaks and rebuilds. Arteries aren't rigid pipes, they're living tissue that must stretch, relax, and repair every day. And because they are alive, both bones and arteries depend on three things to stay healthy. Energy, very, very important. They're realizing just how much energy is involved in bone modeling. So every repair process in the body requires energy. Bone building cells need energy to create new bone, and blood vessel cells need energy to stay flexible and responsive. So when cellular energy drops, repair slows down. So no energy, no rebuilding. Protection. Living tissue is constantly exposed to stress. So bones and arteries are damaged by oxidative stress and inflammation. And without protection, cells break down faster than they can repair, and over time, damage adds up. So unprotected cells wear out faster. So what's the stress that we're talking about? If you live, if you're alive, if you eat and breathe, you are adding stress to your body and oxidative stress. Proper signaling, very important. Cells rely on signals to know what to do. So signals tell bone cells when to build or break down bone, and signals tell blood vessels when to relax, repair, or move minerals. And when signaling fails, calcium and repair processes go in the wrong direction. So you've got to have good signaling to keep materials going in the right place and doing the right things. So when energy is low, protection is missing, or signaling is broken, so the bones lose strength, arteries lose flexibility, calcium ends up where it doesn't belong. And then this isn't an aging problem, it's actually a cellular support problem. So arteries and bones fail together. And what's the root to that, right? We were just talking a little bit of it. So let's talk in more in depth of it. Bone loss and arterial disease don't happen for separate reasons. They actually share the same underlying drivers inside the body. Oxidative stress, chronic inflammation. When the body's stuck in damage mode and it can't get out, it creates irritation in the artery walls and it leads to plaque and stiffness. And then it speeds up bone breakdown, which is not healthy. That oxidative stress, it damages bone building cells, so no bones rebuild, or they rebuild slowly, causing osteopenia. If they don't rebuild, it's osteoporosis. And it damages blood vessel cells, making arteries stiff and fragile. Over time, damage builds faster than repair, so too much damage, not enough repair. Mitochondrial decline, it is so important in every function in your body. It drives so much. So mitochondria are the cell's energy generators, right? Bone remodeling requires a lot of energy. And blood vessels require a lot of energy to stay flexible and responsive. So when energy drops, rebuilding stops. So think of low energy equals weak structure. So if you don't have proper calcium signaling, calcium's not the problem, the direction is. So bones need calcium locked into their structure, and arteries suffer when calcium settles in vessel walls. And without proper signals, calcium goes to the wrong place. And it can end up in your arteries. It can end up in your joints where it's not supposed to be. So you need all the vitamins and minerals to help signal where it's supposed to go. Disrupted sleep and hormones. Repair happens mostly at night. So bone rebuilding peaks during deep sleep, and blood vessels repair and relax during sleep. So poor sleep and hormone imbalance reduce repair signals. No sleep, no rebuilding. And when energy is low, protection is missing. Signaling is broken, sleep is poor, bones lose strength, and arteries lose flexibility. And that's why weak bones and calcified arteries often show up in the same person. It's the same problem showing up in two different places. So activation matters. Calcium is essential, but calcium by itself doesn't build strong bones or keep arteries safe. So calcium must be absorbed. It has to get into the body. So there's certain things that help with this. Vitamin D is very important to move calcium from food supplements into the bloodstream. So that's your first part. And then without enough vitamin D, much of the calcium you take never gets used. And if calcium can't get in, it can't help. So calcium has to be directed. Once it's in the bloodstream, the body has to decide where it goes. Bones that need calcium locked into their structure. Arteries and soft tissues do not. So vitamin K2 also activates proteins that guide calcium into bone and keep it out of arteries. And then calcium needs directions or it ends up lost. So without activation, absorption, direction, and regulation are missing. Bones don't get stronger, bone density continues to drop, and calcium can settle in arteries, joints, and soft tissues. And this is how someone can have weak bones, calcified arteries, and still be taking calcium. So calcium isn't the thing that's failing. The system around calcium is failing. And activation is what makes calcium safe and effective. So it has to be regulated. It has to stay balanced. The other thing that helps immensely with this is magnesium. It helps keep calcium stable and usable. And then boron helps prevent calcium from being lost in urine. So without regulation, calcium can build up where it's not supposed to be. So too much, too little, poorly balanced all plays a big role. So there's a lot of vitamins that are very important to how your body signals. And these same vitamins that I was talking about, D3, so very important for heart health. Magnesium, so important for your signals going in for your heartbeat and your blood pressure and everything. Potassium is also important for the heart. And then boron, right? So you can keep the horsetails even important. It's actually pretty cool how it all works together. And God made the plan. You just have to put it back in or wake it up, in other words. So when cellular stress is reduced, energy is restored, minerals are directed correctly, sleep supports healing, bones regain strength, and arteries regain flexibility together. So how does this happen? Okay, for cellular protection, you've got the protandim NRF2, reduces oxidative stress and inflammation, protects the bone building blood vessel cells, slows further damage so repair can occur. The NRF1 and NAD, very important because they're all about the cellular energy and the repair capacity. So they restore mitochondrial energy, fuels bone remodeling, and supports artery flexibility and repair signaling. Very important for those endothelial cells in those arteries. DNA and stem cell support is protandim NAD. NAD fuels mitochondrial activity needed for cell division, tissue repair, and healthy regeneration. Mineral direction and balance. D3 plus. This is one of the coolest products I think LifeVantage has. And literally on the front of the bottle, it literally says balanced immune response for strong bones and cardiovascular health. Very, very important. It improves calcium absorption and it directs calcium into the bones and it helps calcium out of arteries and supports rebuilding of weakened bone structure. And then your structural framework is your True Science liquid collagen. The collagen strengthens bone matrix, supports artery elasticity, and it provides a framework for minerals to bind to during repair. Your GLA matrix, your GLA. So you've got Rise AM and Reset PM also because it's your daytime rhythm and nighttime repair. It actually balances stress and daytime energy and supports deep sleep and growth hormones and enhances bone and vascular recovery overnight. It's your key minerals and vitamins that also help. It's got your K2s, it's got iodine, it's got magnesium, potassium, it's got all kinds of amazing things in it. And they are essential for your body to work correctly and talk to the cells. It enables the cells to talk to one another. So these are literally all of the nutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, all that fun stuff that is in all of these, the Rise AM, Reset PM, and the D3 plus. So you've got your D3, you've got your vitamin K2, your K1, your calcium. It's a low balanced dose. That's very important. Magnesium, boron, silicon, which is your horsetail. It helps keep the bone, the calcium in the bone where it's supposed to be. Vitamin C, vitamin E, zinc, copper, manganese, vitamin A, B vitamins, and this is the most important thing. These guys, these B vitamins are pre-methylated. They're methylated, which means your body can use them even if you have the factor that doesn't allow your body to use B vitamins. Choline, potassium, selenium, iodine, ginseng, and then for energy in the morning and calming herbs for sleep at night. Guys, these do amazing things, not just for bones and arteries, but for your whole entire body because they help the cells signal. And without them, your bodies don't get the right signals. Very, very important. So what else do you need for proper bone and artery health? This is very important. Eat veggies and fruits. I cannot stress enough how much protein you need to eat. You need to be eating roughly almost a gram of protein per your body weight, per each pound you weigh. I know that's a lot. It's what to strive for, but it's very important because guess what else is also very important for bones? Healthy muscles. Very, very important. You got to maintain a healthy weight, eat healthy omega fats, omega 3s and omega 7s, very important. take nutrients, those K2s, magnesium, boron, horsetail, all that stuff keeps all the calcium in the right place and out of your arteries. Collagen, also very important. It's your building block. Most importantly, exercise. So muscle strength training exercises, they include use of weights or your body's own resistance to work against gravity. So lifting free weights, using a weight machine, working with resistance bands, any of those. It doesn't have to, you don't have to go out and be a bodybuilder. You just need to actually lift some weights every once in a while and create some resistance to build those muscles. Weight bearing exercises, same thing. If you don't have any of that stuff, you can just use your own body weight. Walking, running, dancing, they have greater impact, more bone strengthening than most exercises do. So, I mean, literally just getting out and walking 20 to 30 minutes a day is huge. Balance exercise is very important. Yoga, Tai Chi, anything like that to help improve stability and reduce your risk of falling. Flexibility exercises actually are very helpful also, like yoga. So very important too. So activation versus anti-resorptive medications for bone health. This is something that I found out the hard way because when I was in my 20s, I was put on a medication that caused osteopenia. And as I became older, of course, they were giving me DEXA scans and everything. And they're saying I've got to go on a anti-resorptive medication for bone health. Well, I learned a lot about that. So I want to teach you guys some stuff. They're important in certain situations. And sometimes it's easier to let your body do its own work and safer. So anti-resorptive medications, your bisphosphates, like your Proleas, your Denims, all that stuff that the doctor tells you to take, your prescriptions. So the primary goal with those are to reduce fracture risk by slowing bone breakdown. How they work, they suppress osteoclast activity. So you don't have bone turnover. So what happens is it increases bone density on scans, but it doesn't give you a true story. You might have dense bones, but they are brittle. Potential benefits can reduce fracture risk in high-risk patients and may be appropriate for severe osteoporosis. Considerations: bone turnover is reduced, not restored. Bone density may increase without improving bone quality. And bone healing and adaptability may be affected in some surgical situations. There actually, and you can Google this or whatever you want to do, but a lot of orthopedics find issues that, like, if you are on those and then you break a hip and you have to have bolts and screws or anything like that, the bones disintegrate when they go to do that. So there are certain situations when you need it. There are other situations where let your body heal itself. Do what God planned on, right? So activation-based support. That's your nutrition, your lifestyle, your cellular activation. Primary goal is actually to support healthy bone remodeling and repair. How it works: protects bone cells from oxidative stress, restores cellular energy needed for remodeling, supports the collagen framework and proper mineral direction, preserves normal osteoblast and osteoclast balance. So your bones are constantly remodeling, which that is what God intended. And the benefits: supports bone quality and flexibility, encourages the body's natural repair processes, and supports long-term bone resilience. So considerations: works with the body's natural healing processes and supports both prevention and repair over time. So these DEXA T scores, this is another thing that drives me a little bit insane, and where you have to be the CEO of your body and your healing process. So they use DEXA scans, right? And they compare these DEXA T scores, bone density to peak bone mass So they'll compare a 60-year-old to an 18 to 20-year-old. And then they tell you, oh, you've got osteopenia, you don't have enough bone density. Well, God said, things will get less as you grow older, but we can do things to help keep it healthy as we do it. So make sure your doctor's not just going off of a DEXA T score and that they're using a aged matched Z score to help distinguish normal aging from excess bone loss. Very important. They ask you a bunch more questions. It helps them figure out if it's really an issue that you need to be on something for your bones. So DEXA is literally a screening and risk assessment tool, not a full measure of bone strength. Like I said, a DEXA scan can show somebody who's been on Prolia has amazing bone density. The only problem is that bone density doesn't mean that it's strong. So be very careful, be very thoughtful, research for yourself, talk a lot with your doctor when they say, oh, your DEXA T score is this. Make sure they're taking everything into consideration. Very, very important. So guys, all of our products, they all have studies, science behind them. There's this great study that shows exactly how much we lower oxidative stress and inflammation in the body. It's pretty cool. Watch it if you can. There. If you would like to order any of these things, there's 2 ways you can do this. There is a great Tri-Synergizer system that includes the Rise AM and Reset PM for only $27 more than the Tri-Synergizer itself, which you will never find every single one of these vitamins and minerals for that amount. You can do that Tri-Synergizer pack. It's in stacks and bundles under Tri-Synergizer, Rise AM, and Reset PM stack, and then just add the D3. Or you can do the NRF2, the liquid collagen, as the Healthy Glow stack, and add the D3 plus and NAD. It's a very good way to do it as well. So it just depends on what you want to tackle, but it's very, very amazing either way you do that. And you can order through Mark or you can order through me. If you order through me, I get credit and Mark gets credit. And if you have any questions, I can help you with anything you need. Just text me at 704-249-5565. Not sure if I didn't get the chance to look and see if there were any questions. Not sure if Mark saw any or not.
I'm busy looking now.
Okay.
I saw some early, but that was early while you were still on your roll, and I've gotten used to not interrupting. So anybody, if you do, I'll give you about, 30, 45 seconds, hit a number and hit a question and she can jump in. And if not,
just text me. Really easy.
Numbers on the bottom. Text her your question.
Yes. And
all
then,
right.
wait.
I think that's going to be go ahead.
Next Thursday is Christmas, isn't it?
Yep. And the following one's New Year's Day.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm probably not
I'll be here New Year's Day.
Thursday. I'm going to be driving. So everybody have a wonderful, safe, happy, healthy, cheers to your health holiday. Merry Christmas.
Amen. Merry Christmas. I'll see you guys before then. StacieZ, she'll probably see you Monday morning because she will be with me when I'm visiting my mother, and I'll be doing a live from there. So chances are you'll still see her before Christmas.
Very good. Fantastic.
All right. Everybody else, will see you this evening with Dr. Scott at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Sluggo, text me. I will help you.
Yeah, Sluggo, if you don't want to write down that number, email me and I'll send it to you. But it's right there on the screen. All right, folks. See you this evening at 7.